Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are excited to have Brice Wheeler, the founder of LaunchLab. Brice brings a wealth of experience in business strategy, brand building, and growth architecture, with a diverse background spanning ventures like My Industry Connect and roles in human resources and corporate training. Based in Denver, Colorado, LaunchLab, founded in 2019, is a full-service digital marketing agency empowering small businesses and entrepreneurs to grow their online presence through services like SEO, web design, and their signature business launch kits. With accolades like the 2023 UpCity Local Excellence Award, Brice and his team are making waves in the industry. We'll be exploring his founding story, how LaunchLab helps clients succeed, and his vision for scaling this dynamic agency. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Brice, welcome to Founders Future.
Thanks, Jay. I don't think I could have said it better myself. There's some things in that list that I even forgot that we had done, so I appreciate that. Good research.
Absolutely. I mean, a phenomenal background, man. Got to highlight it, and truly an honor to have you on the show today, Brice. So if we could start at the beginning for our listeners here, what specific problem in the digital marketing or small business growth landscape really inspired you to start LaunchLab?
I think we go back just a smidge before that, and we moved to Colorado in 2012 to start a property management company, and there was four of us at the time, and in a year we grew that to about 600 employees and a
Wow.
little over 12,000 units in 16 different states. So it was a really fast growth. And so you got a real lot of experience in starting something from scratch and then bringing it to mid-market level. And I've got some experience in some of the great ways to do things and some of the not so great ways. Definitely made mistakes along the way. And think about 6 years in, it was getting that kind of itch where we still doing as good as we could do. We were still full steam ahead with everything, but not really hitting the people side. And it was feeling less and less genuine over time. And not that it was a bad company. It was just there was too many cooks. We were bringing on large levels of executive teams and to take that growth. And then I always said there was too many dishwashers with their ladle in the soup. So not even chefs in the kitchen, just everyone wanted to get some cooking done. So 2018, I exited that company and started a restaurant management company. So the restaurant management company was not, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to have restaurants that we manage that are our own. What we're doing is we went out after mom and pop restaurants
Okay.
and got to know the owners, got into their financials, and found ways with our economies of scale to make it so that they could pretty much retire and make more than they were making not coming in every day. And so all the employees would become our employees, all the platforms our platforms. The restaurant was still owned by them, but we fully took on the management. And then we could move the employees between different restaurants because you got a lot of seasonal things and shifts that happen in restaurants. So it was working out pretty well. We started to have this inkling that what we were doing there as well, because we were doing all the technology too, the marketing, the website for it, the menu design, like all the components of marketing. So you could start to see the inklings of what we were forming. And
Right.
every owner had a friend or three friends. It was pretty much like a 1 to 3. It was like they need a website, they need marketing done, and we're like, no, we're niche. We're just staying in the restaurant space. We're just doing
Yeah.
this. But after probably about the first year, we're turning down 3 clients to every 1 client we're getting.
Right.
Maybe we should start looking at this a little more. Maybe we should start kind of seeing, and we started just taking those clients on and it started building the foundation of LaunchLab without it being fully formed yet. And then it was one of those things where I always like to like pretend like it was some sort of divine intervention that we were like, yes, we saw this coming. We need to be out of restaurant space right before COVID hits and into full online marketing. But it was just the kind of the lucky turn of the momentum of things. And so then we still hadn't formatted Launch Lab, but we were doing this for everyone. And so I have 2 business partners, and one of them who wasn't a business partner at the time came to me and she's, I really want to get out of working for other people and I want to start doing something. And I think I could do what I'm doing for a bunch of clients rather than putting in 60 hours a week for one employer. And so we started get her consulting company off the ground. And while I was doing it, and I was sitting there with her and I was watching like what was happening, and I'm still doing work over here, and I'm watching them going, this is a thing. This is something that, and this was again right before COVID. We're like, this is something people, there are a lot of people out there that want to get off the ground. They're not sure where to start. They spend a lot of time spinning their wheels and getting things ramped up. And so I started like just testing some things on her and like some concepts and strategies and just really used her as a guinea pig and started forming a launch lab over on the side. And she came to me one day and she goes, I've been thinking what we've been doing here. She goes, I think there's something behind this. I think that we could get a company going that's this. And I think we could do a really good, the people that you're doing this for, it's really helping. And you're helping me. And I know not everyone's going to come sit at your dining room table and get the advice.
Right.
But I turned my monitor towards her and I was like, you mean something like this? And she was like, what is going on? I'm like, and I already had the website up. I had services put together, had everything started out. And she was like, I really think we have this. And she had that kind of sales spirit. So she came on board and started just getting after our initial clients. But it's keeps evolving over time. And what we've found in this space is there's a lot of hokey companies out there in the marketing space. There's a lot of people offering not a whole lot for exaggerated dollars, just not a lot of value. And we've always come from the side of building partnerships. And we want to work with people and help them grow. And that's where our first clients, for years, it almost felt like we were like part of their team. Like we were just integrated fully into the team. And obviously, when you start off, you take on those clients and you cut your prices way down to try to get into the market space. But we've learned over time, like the value of what we do. So we've re-elevated, but not to the point where we're not providing the adequate value for what we're doing. And in the past year and a half, we've really dove into executive brand management. And so we work with the founders, the executive team, the C-suite, whatnot, to really start putting them in front of the company. And sometimes it's just in front of the employees. They're large enough where the employees just see the CEO as a name. They have no clue. They're just like, it's my boss's boss. And getting them out there and putting a human behind it, and then making sure that human matches up with what they're saying. Their mission statement isn't just words on the wall in the kitchen that the employees read, but no one ever they make fun of it because no one's living by it. And it's really starting to take off in the way that like we've got one client where she posts eh, one time a week on LinkedIn, maybe, if even that. And but she's out there, she's speaking, she's making like genuine connections with people, she's doing the stuff with, and everywhere she goes now, we call her LinkedIn famous. Everyone's like, I know you from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You're Savannah from LinkedIn. We know who you are. And it was that first like foray into that realm, and then just replicating that and scaling it for larger businesses. And yeah,
And now we're here. I
yeah,
love it. So
exactly.
definitely would love to dive a bit deeper there for our listeners because once this episode airs, Brice, they could very well want to come and work with you and utilize the services. So really walk us through today the core offers that you have and how it's structured for your clients. What does that client journey look like?
Sure. So it essentially there's the strategic analysis part where, and that's something that for a while there's companies that they find that to be an interesting, they're like, we'll just tell you about it. So I'm like, we're gonna come, we're gonna spend some time
Mhm.
learning about you, and our time's worth money, so we're gonna charge you for this. But at the end of the day, there's an exit ramp. We're gonna give you a roadmap for where we see this going, what we need to put in place, what stuff you have, and we'll give you pricing across the board for all of it. But really, what pays off here is they can look at that and go, oh, this is something we need to do. We have someone on in-house that can handle this. And it's like, great. Do you want us to work with them, or do they got SEO under control? Perfect. If they don't have SEO control, just remember this is about what your pricing is, or go shop around and see you can get the same pricing. But then we start really building out the plan for the executive team. So it depends on how large the company is. But if it's a sweet spot is there's a couple C level and VP or higher level people. Enough where they have enough budget so that we can bring in a film crew, we can start capturing them, get their essence, get
Mhm.
some of the day to day, and then really show like help work them through what our little catchphrase is like turning what you know into what you're known for. And especially in the tech space, there's so many people that are so brilliant in what they're working with, what they're creating, but they're so far behind the scenes. And I think about Silicon Valley and but it's pretty accurate. There's a lot of people that they really know a lot, but they're not known for it. Their company's not known for it. And they don't know how to do that without just saying like we do and then listing off all the
Exactly.
stuff that they do. And which, as we all know, telling people what you do doesn't generally get people that fired up about working with you. It tells them what you do.
Yeah.
But to be known for something and to someone to hear you speak or to see you and be inspired by something that you didn't charge them for, you didn't, and they may not need you now, but they will, or someone they know will. And it's really about just putting people out there. And then also like growing from there. Like we recently just went to a property management because we're very juiced in that industry still, is corporate office, and we did executive leadership videos and kind of stories and testimonials. And then we had them bring in people from their site teams that had some great stories. Someone that was escaped from Afghanistan during the fall, and that one of their VPs took on their whole family, took their whole family on because his wife had a baby in flight on the way from, so they got like priority, let's get you in with the family. And now he works at the company. He's a service manager there. He got Employee of the Year this year, and he got their like Golden Star Award, which is like their like highest level of award. And it's a truly touching story. And when you're going to work someplace, if you don't know what the people like are there, you only can see the reviews online, but you know that there's like this guy is, that's a real extreme story, but he is do or die for that company. He will never leave that company unless the executive team completely turns over and they become a different company. But he is like, I and happy to be. I will do anything for the customers of this company, for the owners of this company. I will, and it's inspiring, you know.
And you guys really bring that out and shine the light on that, which is amazing. Pretty fascinating services across the board. There's with you guys, obviously, you're helping a lot of your clients get acquisition and on that side and get leads. What's working best for you guys here right now with Launch Lab as far as the acquisition side? What channels have been most effective for you, Brice?
It's funny because it's super old school. We're not talking door to door old school, but in the past year, we've been getting out there and getting in front of people and just hitting conferences, hitting places where our clients are. So like there's these small business expos, and I've been just starting to dive into those. It's almost like joining a small business Facebook group where everyone's just pitching their services back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just go in and I go into, we call it the speed dating. They have the little room where people can talk to
Yep.
each other for 2 minutes. And I 99% don't talk about myself at all. I just want to hear about them. And I just want to hear about them and hear about what they have going on and go through. And I have a little microphone. I let people know, hey, by the way, I have a microphone. You let me know if you don't want to be recorded or whatever. It just helps me remember everyone.
Yeah.
And it's connected to the phone, and I have AI on the phone that is putting together. And then when I scan the business cards, it connects the conversation to the business card. And then I can go back and before speed dating round two, because most of the people stay in there that are doing that. I look over, I see what I can see as problems that they're already having or questions I need to ask. Now I go back with an inquisitive round and just going through those. And I've just been testing it out for the company so that we can start bringing the sales team and whatnot to do something similar.
Yeah.
But I got about 50 clients out of two of those meetings.
Wow.
And I think they were like $75 to go to them to be able to go into the speed dating. And this last one that was in San Francisco, I decided we've got a decent amount of commercial real estate clients there.
Yeah.
Let's hold an after event. We have a connection with a local martini bar because it's been in San Francisco for years. And they brought in a piano player for us. We got the back room. And we just
Wow.
invited people over. Like, hey, listen, first drink on Launch Lab. Just come on over. We invited the commercial real estate brokers because we knew, hey, those guys are going to come. They want people that are looking for commercial real estate. And we were like, hey, listen, it's just one deal. No one's selling anyone. We invited vendors. Like there was competitors there of some of our software products. And I'm like, listen, guys, come on over. I was like, let's just connect.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk, you'll talk. And there's no speeches. I got up on the microphone and just thanked everyone for coming in. And probably had about, man, short of 40 people show up. We were slotted for about 50, so it was like one of those ones where you're like, oh, we're gonna get as many as we want. But I'm like, hey, first time event, and the conference was in South San Francisco, and our event was in on Market in Valencia in downtown. So that's a decent hike. That's probably a $40 lift ride at that time of day. So
Yes.
to get that many people to come there, have a good time, talk to each other. I even saw, I won't mention it, but there was a couple high profile CRM companies and their salespeople were over like talking strategy with each other. And I was like, these sales teams from different companies talking strategy with each other, but in a productive way because this is not a super inward facing community. I've seen like being in multifamily, that's an inward facing community where they're all against each other, but it's everyone is, hey, we got to all move together.
Yes.
Commercial real estate was the other way. It's like everyone for themselves. So bringing them inward and then bringing people in sales and marketing and technology to be like, hey, listen, even if we are competitors, the name of the game is like helping our clients and moving forward. There is enough pie for everyone. There's not a limited piece of pie where, and I grew up in New England. So I grew up in the, if I
Yeah.
give you some money, then I've given you some of my piece of the pie. Or if I give you some attention. And it really isn't that way. That was just that kind of that like old school, gritty, blue collar kind of, yeah, if they have the job, I don't have the job. But it
Incredible.
really comes down to like we turn down clients because we want to work with the people that we can help be the most successful. Not that like we've taken on clients in the past that we probably shouldn't have, but
Yeah.
live and learn.
Absolutely. So with that there, how are you thinking about the idea of scaling Launch Lab? Are you going to be adding more predictability into the lead flow, like ads and doing more with what you're helping your clients with? What does that look like as far as scaling and getting to that next level?
The ads have always worked.
Yeah.
I've always, any of our clients, I've always told them at the minimum, I'm going to tell you, no matter what level you're at, that you should have X amount per day,
Right.
always going towards advertising. You should
Right.
always have some stuff putting you out there. And it's we give everyone like the SEO and paid advertising graph. Like our goal is to get this here so that we can get that there.
Yep.
But marketing's kind of one of those things where people think of it like it's like I just need it for a little while service. And so that's probably the biggest scaling hump is like getting people to understand you you need this forever. It's like electricity. You don't
Right.
turn off the lights in the middle of the workday while everyone's working. And I use the movie industry and I use Nike as an example. Like Nike, people are like, when we're known enough, we won't need to. I'm like, you're pretty familiar with Nike, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, have you seen a Nike ad? Like, they're still advertising. They're not. They're still advertising. They're still being relevant. They're still putting stuff out there. And I show them what their like previous year budget for it was. And like
Yeah.
that's for someone that's very well known. And I'm like, and the other side of marketing is look at like a movie. You make $100 million movie. The marketing budget is 1.5 times the budget to make the movie. So
Right.
100 million to make it, 105 million or 100,
50.
yeah,
Yep.
50, whatever to advertise it. So it's one of those things where it helps people understand like you don't turn off the flow of what brings in business. And it's usually one of the first things people think about cutting when business gets slow. Like business is getting slow, we should probably stop advertising or lower our marketing. It's like, actually, we got to go the other direction. If business is getting slow, we got to ramp it up because then you may be spending a little more, but you're not seeing a drop in. But
Exactly. So with that there, obviously you have so many different pieces in place. Seeing that success, that is an incredible way to be going in person and getting that personal connection with your potential clients. What can you point to, Brice, as a bottleneck that you're thinking about, whether it is the predictability on the lead side, the sales side, the process? What can you point to on that front?
obviously, if I was going to keep it like this,
Yeah,
me going to all these conferences would be one hell of a bottleneck. Like
exactly.
there's no scalability there. Like the part of this that is it's just that it's new. And when we do things that are new, I want to make sure that I really nail it down so that I know exactly what to expect from the team when they go, as well as what to expect from the results. Because I'm not a salesperson. I'm a good closer, but I'm not. I always joked in college, like me and my friends who go to the bars. I'm not the one bringing the group over to us, but I'm the one to convince them to go to the after party. I was never the upfront person. But if I can come out of these with nearly 50 clients, our sales team can do it. And that's why we're testing different conferences and seeing like what our cost is and what our ROI is on it. And if I'm getting a really high ROI just
Oh,
as
yeah,
me going and still operating the company remotely for 2 days for each of
exactly.
these and but it's the building the connection. So yeah, if I was going to keep doing it, that would be the major bottleneck. And being that as much as this ramps up, that means that we've already seen with bringing on 20, 25 clients in
Yeah,
a period of a week in a marketing aspect, that's a lot to onboard
big time.
in really fast. So keeping that service level, so making sure that not only have we tuned this operation of getting in front of people and doing this, but tuning the onboarding process to make
Yeah,
sure, that they are feeling our full level of service. And then we're able to, because what's nice about this is we're hands-on with the companies, real hands-on with the companies that we're doing the full executive brand management. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of services that we do that they're not set it and forget it, but they're set it and our client is allowed to forget about it because it's running. We have the right reporting, we have the right kind of strategy, so we can see, hey, there's a shift happening here. We're going to move the budget over here. We're going to do these things over here. And I really think the onboarding is going to be the biggest piece of this when we release the sales team to go wild on this.
Incredible. So with that, Brice, I do want to take us into the lightning round because the time zoomed on us. I didn't realize what time it was. So with that, I would love to know a bit about your vision. First thing that comes to mind, what are you laser focused on for that growth and scale for the rest of the year here?
Well, and I think it's something that I've always been laser focused on. I think it leads right into why I go and do things first. And it's not like I think I'm the best at everything. I
Right.
just know that if I do it and I know how to do it and I know what to expect, then I can reasonably hold people accountable. And then also, I don't feel like my teams, if they get 10 leads and I'm like, only 10 from this one, they don't
Yeah,
feel like I'm just like judging on some made up quotas that I have. I at
exactly.
least have some like some feeling for what's going on. And if some emergency happens, I know I can jump in and help out, which
Exactly.
is not a scalable thing, but it's a human thing. And in this, where we're talking about being a more human company, that's a piece. It starts with your own team. But the focus has really been on keeping things frictionless for our team and especially for our clients. I really want and that's what I was talking about with onboarding, when they come on board as a client, they really feel like they're the only client in the world that we're working with, that we're talking to, that we're bringing on, that when they need something, they feel like they're getting boutique service from a company that's handling a lot of people and a lot of clients, but we do it in a way where you're able to get that boutique hands-on feel. And that's where we've noticed, wow, we're getting people really fast through this technique. Let's look at the next step. What do we do with Brandon? It's like the first time through, it was like a little over 20. I'm like, that could have been a fluke. I just really connected with people at this particular one. And it was in Chicago. It was all Chicago-based businesses. I'm like, it could have been. I went to the San Francisco one and it was even more. And I was like, I don't think this is a fluke. I think
You got
I
something
think we're
here.
onto something here. So we better put some resources in place behind the scenes, like the client success and the onboarding team. It looked like their eyes were ready to pop out. And I was like, there's no more conferences until September. And they were like, okay. And I'm like, we'll get these pieces worked out. Now we'll all dig in here and see. Because they were like, you're going to send people to multiple conferences at the same time.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
where we're heading with it, not at the cost of the team or the clients, just at the
I
cost
love it.
of,
Yeah,
yeah.
keep going. I love it. So one more question for you to finish out the podcast here, Brice. First thing that comes to mind, what is the best piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners tuning in, just heard your incredible journey and where you're really taking this thing? What can you leave them with before we wrap up the show?
Oh, the best piece of advice. I've gotten some really good ones over the years. I'm going to give you a couple,
Yeah.
but one of them really is, and it's something that I say to people that like, because we work with people in that startup phase, and they spin out a lot on, I need this technology, I need this camera, I need all these different pieces. And my first piece of advice is once you've got your kind of core offering, you don't need anything else but a client. Get a client. Get as close to the right client as you can for you. And everything else, what will you need will prioritize itself based on the client. And so many people, they end up in that failure to launch where they keep having reasons for not doing the next thing. Not, and we all fall prey to it. We're all like, oh, I'll start doing that once we're to this level. And it's no, just get out there and do that and get your clients. And it was funny because it was with the partner Jeannie. Like she had a client right out of the gate. She was working on her website one day, and she kept getting frustrated that they kept calling her. And finally, I was like, "Is that's your client that keeps calling you?" She goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Why are you mad that the client?" I'm just really trying to get this website out there. I'm like, "Okay, just so you know, like other companies that I'm already talking to work with on this,
Yeah.
they have websites and they have no clients. You have a client without the website." So just take in stock the priority here. Take care of your client. They don't care that you have a website, but they're
Right.
paying you to make sure that you can have a website. We'll figure all those pieces out after. And
Yeah.
it's just rolled from there. Just
Love
get out there. Don't go out and fake it till you make it, but go out and know what you do, be the best you can at it, and get a client and let them know, hey, you're my first client,
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. People will hang. for a long time on it through mistakes. If they know that, oh yeah, this person's really working for me. They're really trying to get out there. So maybe I'll just give you the one, just to get the client first.
I love it.
The rest will fall into place.
Incredible. So with that right there, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Brice, just thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your incredible journey and your insights. I mean, clear as day while you're seeing that success, and we'll continue to see it. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And also check out Launch Lab at businesslaunchkit.com to explore their business launch kits and digital marketing services. And follow Brice on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Brice-Wheeler. For more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.